Welcome to Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, the podcast where the heart of small town life beats loud and clear. Each week, we dive into real stories behind the challenges and successes of living in a tight-knit community. This is where small town dreams, drama, and determination come to life. This is Small Town Pulse, and you're right on beat.
Today on Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, we have a guest who is someone whose energy radiates far beyond the walls of her shop, Pyrite Illusions. We're joined by Fear, a passionate crystal enthusiast, small business owner, and the author of the eye-catching and enlightening book, Getting Stoned with Fear, a beginner walkthrough level guide to gemstones and crystal utilization. And whether you're crystal curious, spiritually grounded, or just here for a great story, you're here for something special. So grab your favorite stone, get comfortable, and let's welcome Fear to the show. Welcome, Fear.
Hey, guys. And I love that you forget to mention that she's also your wife.
Well, she is. So a lot of the story I kind of know, but there's a lot that she can tell us. We know you have started with Pyrite Illusions, but your new adventure is this book that you
being
have
an
written.
author. Congratulations. Yes. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a journey. It was a journey. We went from concept to publication in about 4 months.
Very fast.
Very, very fast.
With a lot of roadblocks in the way.
A lot of roadblocks, and still holding down the store as well.
Right. That was the time I first met you, was when you were going through all this. Yes.
People were coming into the store, and I was sitting at a table in the middle of the building just with my headphones on.
Just trying to write.
But it came out real well. It was a team effort. I couldn't have done it without Steve and my manager, Lupe. She did all the photography for the book, and I couldn't have done it without a group effort.
And the photography is beautiful.
It is. It is full of full color illustrations here. I'll try to. You can have the book too. Take pictures.
Mm-hmm. I've got
one. You have a book.
You
have a book, but hopefully you've wrote in yours.
Let me just drink this coffee.
Well, mine's been wrote in.
Yeah.
Because of all the signatures. All the signatures. So when you buy my book and I sign your book, I make you sign my book because.
Like your book style. I love it. I've never seen that at a book signing, and I thought that was such a unique original idea.
So much you would be surprised how many days I've sat up at the store and I've read every one of the signatures, even if I don't, do it at the time. I have looked through every single one. Again, it means a lot to me.
That's so cool. So tell us what the book's about, and give us a general overview of what the book's about, and why you wanted to write it.
I've been doing stone and energy work for a very long time. And when I started selling stones, I started noticing a very common pattern amongst people in their questions. And I started putting them all together in the most basic way to try to, you get tired of saying the same thing every day to the same people. Well, different people, but the same thing.
Welcome to social media.
Exactly, social media, exactly. So I kind of went and I grabbed all of the basic misunderstandings. For instance, I touch on a lot of the terminology. People tell you to carry a stone with you and always make sure to have it on you. But these are two different things. For instance, this one is with me. Mm-hmm. It is now on me.
Okay.
And there is
So for those that are listening and not able to actually see us, so you've had it first on the outside of your shirt, and that is with you.
Yes, because there's a barrier between
right.
it. So I'm still have it with me, but when it's on you, it is direct contact with you. And it's these tiny little things that does actually make a difference. So I spent a part of the book explaining those things, and then I spent a part of the book just explaining what energy is, because nobody's telling you that. Everybody's wanting these good energy vibes, but nobody really has a full understanding of what those energies are, how to access them. So it takes you from I'm overwhelmed to having a full understanding of the energies that you're trying to access, and then gives you a personal walkthrough about how to figure out where it's stored inside you, what rocks to pick, and every way along, and it's fully interactive. You have all of these little pieces like this, that you can fill in your own information along the way. It's
more of a workbook.
It is. It's more of a workbook than it is anything else, because we have to be engaged with what we're learning. And I mean, we all know we're going to be engaged with our own spiritual journey, whether it be through your own guides that you have on a personal one, or through the structure of your churches, or through your friends or your peers, or just through whatever comes to you naturally. We're all going to be on our own different one. So I had to create something that could work with everybody's different path. And I'm really proud of what we have done there. It really does branch out and be able to blanket over many different people in a way that I didn't think I'd be able to pull off in the beginning.
Very nice. How's the response been to the book?
Fantastic. So we've basically did a hard rollout locally and semi-locally. Our first 150 books we're getting ready to have to reorder. We've almost sold out.
Congratulations.
And I mean, considering we haven't really done any hard online rollout other than on our webpage, here, come buy a book, I think it's kind of great. I am hoping over the next few months, hopefully by the end of the year, to have at least a page on our Pirate Illusions website that goes a little bit more into the book and helps people understand it better. Maybe a little video, something of those. Mm-hmm. So there's some reworks in the process.
Gotcha.
When you talk about crystal energy and healing, mm-hmm. you get different responses from certain people because a lot of people are skeptics about it. Well, it's just a rock. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, I can get that in my backyard, so what kind of energy is it going to give me?
Or I can get it on Amazon for $6.
Oh, that one kills me. So, there are factories in the world. One of the biggest one is in China. And where everything else has a fake, stones do too. And some of them are so good, guys, you wouldn't know, because when they're using things that are like synthetic crystals to create these new ones, they can look a lot alike. They really can. They can feel a lot alike. The weight can be there. But, as I tell people all the time, a 20-year-old version of yourself versus a 40-year-old version of yourself is going to be very different. Sure. And I'm not going to go to 20-year-old me for the same advice that I'm going to go to 40-year-old me for. And that's what you're looking at in stones energy. So even if it's not resin or plastic that you're buying, even if it is some sort of naturally grown rock, it's going to miss the time in the earth to learn all the lessons, to hit that energetic vibe that it needs to hit. It's still going to be pretty. Mm-hmm. It's still going to be pretty, and it still has its place for that. But you are going to feel a difference in a lot of your stones that you mass order through places like Amazon or wherever. That just doesn't quite hit the same as the rocks that you go and pick up from a known source. And that's usually why. It's usually because they're lab created or not a rock at all. And that becomes a real scary thing in my industry because COVID made it real bad because they started having all the pop-up shops from all of the different places. And like I said, they have the #1 largest factory right there in China that is just built. That's all they do is recreate fake stones. Mm-hmm. That's all they do.
Right.
And I suppose somewhere there's a market for it. Sure. But yeah, that's one of my biggest concerns when it comes to warning people with buying at unknown sources is you don't know where it comes from. You don't even know if it's a real rock, mm-hmm. especially at $6. These are non-renewable resources that we have. It takes millions of years to grow.
So someone took the time to mine
and then if it's been cut and polished, I mean, okay, so even if you are getting a real rock at $6, that's got someone's blood on it. Mm-hmm. And people just don't stop to think about these things. They see a rock, like you said, it's in my backyard. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. A lot of these come from very exotic places that are really hard to get in third world countries.
Mm-hmm. And do you go in to that in the book about how you can, like how to know you're buying authentic versus not authentic?
A little bit. I do say some things in the book that I'm sure is going to turn the heads of some of the people that sell rocks in my industry. But I do tell them to do things like talk to the people that you're getting your stones from. Ask them where they got them. Ask them the properties. Ask them, where they're sourced from, what region it originally come from. And if they can't tell you those things, they don't know what they're doing with those rocks. And they may still have good rocks, but if you're at a beginner level, uncertainty is not where you really want to start. It really isn't. And a lot of shop owners, myself included, even though I spend a lot of time complaining about it, I spend probably 80% of my time in store just counseling people on what rocks they should get, how to understand the energies, and almost any good gemstone or spiritual tool seller will take that time. They will. And if they don't, then they're out of their demographic, and find somebody that will, at least for the start of your journey. Mm-hmm.
Until you know it yourself.
until
well
you know
enough,
it yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I know for a fact, being in the store a couple of times when I've been in there by myself, and I'm not the knowledgeable one. It's all
You say
fear-
that you've been
fear
able to answer
and-
every question anybody's ever
He
asked.
is really good.
He
I've
doesn't give
gotten
himself enough credit.
I've gotten better. But the one thing, like I just had a customer the other day, and she was looking. She's new, beginning, and she wanted to buy some new stuff. And I told her, I said, okay, now what's your budget? Because that's the first thing we want to work with. Secondly, what stones are you looking for? And then I'll tell them, you can either get this high-end one here, but if you don't know how it works, we have a lower price version here to test it, so that you're not going home. And
Yes.
I learned that from fear a lot, because why go spend your money on something that isn't going to work for you?
Right.
And that's another thing that I do see very common in a lot of the stores or in counseling services, guidance services, is that they try to push them to buy that thing. I was speaking to a woman out on Venue just this past weekend, and she was telling me about how a woman had done a read and cleaned out her third eye chakra and then sold her a vial full of water for $175.
We're in the wrong business.
And it was crystal water.
Right.
Meant to purify her. And honestly, with my book and a little self-work, she could have cleaned out that third eye all by herself as well. So like all I heard was nothing but scam on top of it. And again, COVID made that really popular because everybody was shut in, and there are courses everywhere online right now. For $125 you can get certified for about anything.
And everybody wants to be a TikTok psychic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
A
you
lot
got
of
to be
them out
really
there.
careful on who you trust. I'm not saying that these people are not out there, because they really are. But it takes a large energy drain to do these things. Therefore, the people that you're seeing that are out trending doing it are probably not doing it at all, because the people that are actually honestly doing it are left just as exhausted as everybody else that leaves from their job after a long day and are not just trying to throw themselves in the way of more work.
Right.
It's literally that simple.
Now, are you energetically drained at the end of a day of going through this?
Every single day. Even sometimes the interactions that come into the store when I'm talking to certain people, I'll have to look at my staff and be like, I need a minute, because that was a lot. And I'm always going through and cleaning the store out. Anybody that's come into the store knows that as soon as you step foot in the store, it's like, and that takes a lot of balance and a lot of work to keep all of those rocks playing nice, plus all the people that come in.
Yeah, a lot of energy going through
There
that
is.
store.
There is, and I have a lot of people that come to me to put things down that they're working on. So that tends to carry a lot of energy within that building.
So sometimes you're kind of the last resort. They're just looking for help.
I've had people literally stumble in and be like, I don't know why I'm here, but it seems like I was meant to be. It happens on at least a monthly basis.
I'm glad there's somewhere for them to go.
I am too. And it does make me a little sad, because as we know, and I'll only be open through next month, but we will still be around for those that may be finding us after we have closed. No Pyrite Illusions is still there, so still come look for us and still message us. We still have the book, we still have the rocks. We're just going to have to forfeit our storefront.
Just going to be a little more mobile.
Yep, just going to be a little more mobile.
Maybe a little more online.
And I'll have a little more time on my hands to do things like the revamps, and I started booking private energy consultations. That will come with things like directions for you, paired with stones that you need already because again, I'm not trying to charge you $150 to clean your third eye. $125 for some water. But yeah, I have started booking private energy consultations for those that was continuously coming through the store, getting them all ready. I had to have something for them.
Right. I love that. I didn't know you were going to do that, so that's exciting.
I didn't either. It was kind of a by demand thing. And here we are.
The universe takes you where you need to go,
It does.
right? Where you
And I'm
can
very
help,
much about following, just
where you
being
can help
into
people
it.
the most. Because I feel that about you, is that you really want to help people
I do.
through these things.
The
right?
ones that want to help themselves. Now, anybody that's come and stood in front of me will tell you that fear is not is afraid to yell at you.
Oh, no.
I really am not. This is probably the longest I have
Or
gone
just in
without
general.
saying. Right. This is probably the longest I've gone without saying a profanity in months.
I can vouch for that.
I can too.
I wake up to that.
But it really is all about that balance that's within it too. And so when it comes to my point of view and me helping people, it really is all about helping the people who want to help themselves. Because I get real tired of saying the same thing. That or the other side of that, I've told you a thing, you didn't want to hear it, then when it happened, it's my fault.
Right.
And I realize that I put a lot of myself on the line when I do these things because of things like that, just typically human behavior. So yeah, I'm not afraid to yell at you along the way and be like, you're being stupid, stop it. Just probably a little rough.
Kind of a little bit of a life coach.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Love it.
With a kick of energy on the side.
Oh, I like that. That should be your tagline.
That's it. She's good at coming up with taglines.
She is. She's actually very. Well, you're very creative in general, but you're actually very good at marketing.
It's this brain of mine. It never stops. Never stops. If I had the money to put my hands on all the things I came up with, I would be a billionaire.
Sure.
But now we're $1 billion in debt. Type of thing.
Going to try it all.
Hey, you got to go through the bad
You
ones.
do.
Every
You
good
do.
entrepreneur knows that. You got to risk it all if you
But-
ever want to have that big win, and you got to keep risking it all.
But the one thing that she can say is it's been teamwork. Lupe's been a great help.
She has.
Everything we do it as a team. We all know our places. She knows the energy side. Lupe knows the science side. And I know the glowy side. So I combine a little bit of both.
You do, Steve is our marketing manager genius as far as going out and talking to people. I'm not a very talky to person people. He does that very well. I don't like having him not out on venue because he is our #1 salesman.
Now, so, we've talked a lot about energies and crystals, clearing, chakras. I know a lot of people are listening and going, "Ooh, I don't know if I should, I'm a Christian, I don't know if I should be listening to this," or whatever religion. And I hear it a lot from people when they ask me about, the crystals that I'm wearing. They want to know, like, how do you rectify that with your beliefs in God and this and that? So
I've done a lot of studying and a lot of religion. And the one thing I have found that is common in all religion is the stones. Even the Bible teaches us that God gave us these things here on earth to stay in touch with him. It's for crystals. The shield that Michael used to go fight Satan himself, they drove stones from the 12 different areas to embed in his shield to protect him. Those stones later got turned into our birthstones, as a matter of fact. They got repurposed. That's what we know as our birthstones now.
I didn't know that.
Even within the Bible, even within, our hard Catholicism, the energy of the stones are there as a direct line straight to our Maker. So for those that have reserves, I would suggest even going and speaking to your pastor or your religious representative and asking them, are these references here? And they are. I don't care what religion you are going to find where they say that these things are there for our energetic balance and or for the connection to help guide us, to help clear us, to help protect us. So there's no reason why you can't take your spirituality and your religion and hold them hand in hand. These two things are not different. These two things are the same. It could very well be that piece you feel you're missing for your direct contact with God.
Deep.
And I know in the book you mentioned
I
something
do
about
mention,
the spiritual.
as soon as I start off in the book, the very first thing I start by mentioning is that my religion does not matter as far as the book goes.
Okay.
Neither does my readers, because of what I just said, is energy is energy is energy, and that's where it starts. Now, with that being said, bringing your own religious belief into your spirituality can help that grow, but it's also not necessary. I have people that are hardcore atheists that absolutely believe in, because they can feel these things as well. So they're two very similar topics and two very similar concepts within your own body, but can be very different at the the same time. It's a very unique stance that I've seen across that. You know, you don't really see many things that are both absolutely something you can positively throw your religious heart at and faith at, and doesn't necessarily have to be. So yeah, that actually is covered in the beginning. That it's nothing in the book is taken from a religious standpoint in any way, shape, or form. It's meant for you to understand the thing that's coming out of that rock that's talking to you. No more, no less. And how you interpret that's up to you, as it should be.
Right. I definitely notice when I wear mine the difference I feel in either my motivation, my creativity, getting rid of
Everything.
negative energy. Those are my favorite ones. I love those.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get some tarot cards.
Yeah.
You might actually have one. It's kind of like a black silvery color looking bead. I think y'all might have sold just some tarot cards. That one's really good. So it doesn't just absorb it like hematite does. It actually repels it away.
No, hematite's what I have.
Hematite's
Yeah,
what you have.
so what do
yeah,
I
we're gonna
use?
have to get you some tarot cards. It's
Okay.
very similar, but it's a heavier, denser stone.
So, what got you started in your crystal journey?
My
That's a
father.
good question.
My father was American Indian, and I was just always raised with a respect for the earth and everything that came with it, and rocks just always seemed to be my thing. I like a pretty rock. Or not so pretty rock sometimes, you never know.
Now, with your business, going back on that, I know you've done a lot of community work.
I try to.
Yes.
And I know the biggest thing that you've always put in is here in a small town, how to take care of the people in a small town, because everybody
important.
knows about Goodwill and going to Louisville or going to a bigger
But
city,
nobody
but
knows
nobody
it in the small towns.
knows about
And
Love Thy Neighbor and stuff like that.
That is the hard part of living in a small town, is because people forget that we need support here, which is what always made it really important for me to try to do some sort of community outreach program, whether it was, clothing drives or monetary drives or food drives or whatever have you. These things are really, really important for our community as a whole, because we don't have big cities saying, okay, here's your that word. Thank you. To pay for this thing. We don't have that. We have to make that. And I kind of felt like, as a small business in a small town, that we should have a little bit of an obligation to do these things.
Absolutely.
If we're expecting the community to show up and show us support, obviously we should support them too.
That's a good point on that.
I think there's something energetically too about putting good out into the world
We'll bring it back.
and how it comes back.
Yep,
Yeah.
karma.
Yeah.
Karma. I tell people all the time, they're like, here we see you just roll through so many things and you just kind of roll with the tide, blow after blow. And I remind people, because of the way karma works, that's another thing that we have a misunderstanding about.
Okay.
The way I react to a situation, that's my karma. And the way you react to that same situation, that's your karma. It has nothing to do with the situation on hand. It's the way you handle the situations. So even when I'm losing my mind and wanting to do nothing more than blow up and burn everything down and walk away with a smile on my face, I remind myself that that's not how karma works. And if we can't control the way we act as a person and the things that we put out, then karma is never going to recognize giving us any kind of balance back. If we're running around just acting like emotional toddlers, then that's how we'll be treated and stay in a playpen forever. So once you learn to break free from that, letting the things around you dictate where you stand, that's when your balance really comes into place.
See, and that's something I personally really need to work on, because I am
It's
so
hard.
affected by other people's negative energy.
I'm
So
not born a balanced or positive person. It is a lot of work that's got me to this place, and it's hard, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
Maybe I need to book one of those energy
But
readings.
maybe you do.
Also now, speaking about Small Town Pulse, how did you wind up here in this small town, Taylorsville, Kentucky?
Kind of by accident. I ended up in Louisville when my children were young, and I wanted away from Louisville. When my children wasn't so young, I grew up on the outskirts of Atlanta, and Taylorsville kind of reminded me of home. So that's where I landed. Hence also, I guess, why I was so willing to jump into the community, because I grew up in a small community very similar. May not have been here, but
Right.
small town America is small town America.
That's what I think is interesting about this podcast too. So of course we're talking heavily about Taylorsville and Spencer County, but I think a lot of the same trials and tribulations that we face here, a lot of other small towns face.
Yep.
I think it resonates across the U.S. really.
I've lived in a lot of small towns in a lot of different states, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Florida, Georgia. And yeah, the small town living is totally different, and it does have at least common thread. Just like city living all has a common thread, no matter what city it is. Small town living does as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of these big cities started out as a small town.
Oh, well,
Until
technically
they
all of them did.
Pretty much, yeah.
Technically all of them
Technically
did,
all of them did.
because at one time it was teepees.
Yeah.
So, just saying.
Very true.
What's the one thing about the town that resonates with you, kind of?
Oh yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you asked me that. I don't know that I'd have a good answer for that.
I was just...
You should have asked
What
me that.
resonates with you?
You should have asked me that first. I could have used that. I grew up in a small town.
Right.
But I already used
She already gave
that.
her answer away, Steve.
Well, with me, it's knowing the people.
Yeah.
That resonates a lot. I know I could walk down...
See, I can't say that.
No, you don't, but you also have other issues about remembering people, so
I do.
that's not a shot at you, it's just a
I
fact
guess an
about you.
actual answer would be the serenity. I mean, the part out, that's kind of the reason why I'm looking to move a little further out, because we've been out here 9 years now.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of growth over the last decade here in this small town. And it's the serenity that really had called to me to bring me out to Taylorsville. It was the fact that it wasn't busy like Mount Washington.
Mm-hmm.
It was slower, it was calmer. The property value was better. But yeah, that's what it would be for me. It would be the serenity.
Is that because of the energy? Or the lack of energy? Or?
Honestly, Kentucky probably, if we're talking about area, has the worst area energy of any state I've ever lived in.
Really?
Well, you had a lot of peaceful Indian ground here that was large tribes would call, no, this isn't a war zone, nobody runs in here, and then white men ran in and slaughtered.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as the ground itself, not so much. And I kind of think that might have something to do with how, so a lot of the people from the area have never left the area or returned to the area. I kind of wonder if energetically that'll have something to do with it. Because you're talking generations of people that don't really branch out.
A lot of them don't even travel outside of the state.
And I've never seen that anywhere else. It is very unique what's going on right here in this area, and I'm not quite sure if it's due to local culture or something energetic, or I don't know. It's interesting.
It's
though.
interesting.
It is interesting.
Maybe a topic for another book.
Maybe.
So,
I actually have a few of them.
I was going to
up
say, will there be a second book?
I do plan on some point in time giving everybody a backup to this one. Like your secondary one shoe, but I want to let this
Like now
one
you've got
stand
the basics, let's get more advanced kind of?
Yep. Let's start working on a little more focused work, start pulling out shadow work. But that one I probably am going to have a couple of years on. I've got a couple of little fun ideas poking around up there that I actually started working on. This actually started as a kid's book.
I was going to say, yeah,
and
it
that
works
is
quite a bit.
I'm still looking for an illustrator that can bring my character creation to life in a way that I'm happy with. So hopefully that one will come out sooner than later.
So kind of just waiting on the illustrations,
I'm kinda just
finding the
waiting.
right partner for that.
And as you had mentioned, my mind is so diverse, and I literally have everything from a couple of horror novels up there floating around to a couple of pieces of religious text to other energy books. So I guess we'll just see what decides to come out and be on paper.
Right.
The horror part scares me.
The horror.
That one kind of has me excited.
I'm
thinking I'm going to be living through most of that horror.
I've always had a darker heart and liked horror novels and movies and had that borderline obsession. So I thought that maybe, because this isn't, although it's my first book, it wasn't my first opportunity to write. I actually had a book deal for my poetry 18 years ago when I first met Steve. And it all came from a dark place, and then he made me like fall in love or whatever, and I got writer's block, and my book deal went down the drain.
Oh no.
So writing isn't new for me, but writing in this style has been. Like actually writing something to read and not something more of a poetic or lyrical type. I hadn't really played with that, but it seems like my mind really ready to play some more and see what else is in there.
Very cool. So you've got a book reading coming up, right?
I do. This Saturday from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. is August 8th at the Spencer County Library, right up the road.
Awesome.
August 9th.
Oh, August 9th.
Don't
Let me
change
not do
the
that.
date.
Don't
Don't
change
do
it.
that again.
That happened last time. So with this, we'll have these little beginner starter packs, and
Okay.
we are going to sit there during the presentation, and we're all going to do these. That way you can.
So it's interactive. It's not
interactive.
Really a book.
It's
I
not a
like it.
reading. And I'll also have some cool little giveaway stuff up there, and it's going to be a good time.
Very nice. So August 9th, 10:30 to 11:30?
Yes.
Okay.
And while the book won't be available during the reading, it will be available at the store, which is available there
Which
now.
is just a super close. quick
right
drive.
around the corner. Yep.
Yeah. So the store's in the Settler Center.
It's in Settler Center. It sits right there between H&R Block and the Chinese place. So if you go down there and you hit that corner where the pizza place is, just look around for me. Can't miss me.
Your sign is always out front.
Always out front.
That's
yeah.
how I know you're open.
I try to keep balloons on it, but helium's expensive nowadays.
That's right.
If you could find it.
If I can find it.
That's true.
And that goes back to the minerals and it being a non-renewable resource.
Very true. Very true. Now, what days are you open?
We are closed Sunday and Monday. All the rest of the week, you can at least catch us there between noon and 12. Noon and 6. Like the weekends we're open a little earlier, stay open a little later, but those are like our guaranteed. You can guarantee to find us there Tuesday through Saturday from 12 to 6.
Now, if somebody's listening and they can't get here to Taylorsville, how can they buy the book?
Call me. There's a website, pyrideillusions.com. They're available on the website as well. You can get a hold of me in store and I can ship it out to you. Same thing with the stones as well. If they ever see anything that's on Facebook or any of our other social media, I don't use anything that's photo stock. So, yeah, get a hold of us. We love to work with people. I do all kinds of private shopping for people out of other states. And, hey, I'm having this issue. Can you show me what you got? So I don't mind taking the time to help you find what you need.
Very cool. I love that you can ship, too. That makes it nice.
Yeah.
And I dabble in uranium glass when I sell, too. So if I can ship a 100-year-old glass vase, I'm pretty sure I can get a book or a rock to you.
I'm pretty sure. In one piece.
Thank you very much for joining us here.
Thank you guys for having me. It's been so much fun.
I feel like I learned a little more about you than
There's a whole
than
lot
I did.
to learn.
I bet.
There's a whole lot
I mean, I feel like us knowing each other is still relatively new, so there's lots of sides to you. But I'm excited to see this author side.
I am too.
Come out.
I am too.
And I'm curious if it's going to come out faster with the store closing. I know. It's going to be fun to watch.
There is one more thing that
Okay.
I need to say,
Okay.
because if I don't, I know she's going to get mad at me.
You better say it.
We have Deuce here with us also,
Yes.
who lives by her side.
Yes.
So
There's my baby.
And if you come to the store, you'll
You'll
meet her.
Here's for you.
you can meet Deucifer and you can meet
Yeah.
Tortellini, the tortoise.
That's right.
Well, thank you
All
for
right.
having me.
Thank you so
It
much.
wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Guys, if they want to do you, that it's not that bad. They're not going to torture you or anything. It's okay. You should come in there.
That's a wrap on this week's heartbeat of small town life. Thanks for tuning in to Small Town Pulse, where stories are shared, voices are heard, and the spirit of community always comes through loud and clear. If you felt the pulse today, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. We're here every week with more small town dreams, challenges, and everything in between. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep your finger on the pulse. This was Small Town Pulse with Steve and Melissa, and you're right on beat.